Hey everyone, welcome back to the Visual Podcast channel on AI. So today we're going to be learning about string manipulation in Python. We'll be exploring everything from the basics to advanced techniques. So to make this learning journey even more engaging, I have a special guest joining us today, Sophia, a budding programmer who's eager to learn about the world of strings. Sophia, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone.
It's great to have you here, Sophia. We'll be covering a wide range of topics, from the fundamentals of strings to more advanced concepts like regular expressions and Unicode. And to solidify your understanding, we'll dive into some beginner-friendly, graduate-level, and advanced-level Python code examples. Ready to get started?
Yes, I'm excited to learn about strings.
So let's start with the basics. What is a string?
A string is a sequence of characters. It's like a collection of letters, numbers, or symbols.
Exactly. And in Python, strings are enclosed in either single quotes or double quotes. For example, hello world is a string. It's a simple yet powerful way to represent text in our programs. But why do we need strings?
Strings are essential for working with text data in Python. They allow us to store, manipulate, and display text in our programs.
Absolutely. They are the building blocks of text processing in Python. And in Python, strings are immutable. Let's explore this concept.
Immutable means that once a string is created, its contents cannot be changed directly.
Correct. You can't modify individual characters within a string directly. Instead, you'll need to create a new string with the desired changes. Imagine it like a fixed piece of paper where you can't erase or rewrite individual letters. So to make changes, you'll need to create a new piece of paper with the updated text. Now, let's talk about string literals.
String literals are how we represent strings in our code.
That's right. So for example, a line, my string, is equal to hello, comma, world exclamation mark. It's a string literal. It represents the string hello world in our code. Now let's move on to accessing string characters.
We can access individual characters in a string using indexing. Indexing starts from 0 for the first character.
That's right. So if we have the string hello world, my string at index 0 is H. Similarly, my string at index 6 is.
So, indexing helps us access specific characters within a string.
Precisely. Now, let's talk about slicing strings.
Slicing allows us to extract a portion of a string. We use square brackets with a start index, an end index, exclusive, and an optional step.
Excellent. For example, my string from 0 to 5 gives us hello. My string from 7 onwards gives us world, and my string from the beginning to the end with a step of 2 gives us hello R. Slicing is a powerful tool for working with portions of strings. Now let's move on to string manipulation.
Okay, let's see what we have here. We can change the case of a string using methods.
That's right. I know Python provides several built-in methods for changing the case of a string. For example, upper converts all characters to uppercase. Lower converts all characters to lowercase. And so title capitalizes the first letter of each word and capitalizes the first letter of the entire string.
Wow, there are so many ways to manipulate the case of strings.
Indeed. Now let's talk about using variables in strings.
We can use f-strings, formatted string literals, to easily embed variables into strings.
Exactly. For example, if we have first name is equal to John and last name is equal to Day, we can create full name is equal to my name is under the curly bracket, first name. So this makes our code more readable and dynamic. Now let's see how we can add white space to strings.
We can use \t to insert a tab character and \n to insert a new line character.
And that's correct. For example, hello \t world will print hello world with a tab before world, and line 1 \n line 2 will print line 1 on one line and line 2 on the next line.
So we can add white space to control the formatting of our text.
I know precisely. Now, let's talk about stripping white space.
The strip method removes leading and trailing white space. lstrip removes leading white space, and rstrip removes trailing white space.
So, great, for example, if my string is equal to 2 spaces. Hello world, 2 spaces, my string dot strip will give us hello world. My string dot l strip will give us hello world, 2 spaces, and my string dot r strip will give us 2 spaces. Hello world. Now let's discuss how to avoid syntax errors with strings.
We can use escape sequences to escape special characters.
That's right. We use backslashes to escape special characters like single quotes, double quotes, and new lines. For example, print of under the quotes. This string contains a single quote colon. This will print the string. This string contains a single quote without causing a syntax error.
So, escape sequences help us handle special characters correctly.
Absolutely. Now let's delve into string methods.
String methods provide various functionalities for manipulating strings.
Now let's talk about finding substrings.
We can use the in operator to check if a substring is present in a string, and the not in operator to check if a substring is not present in the string.
That's right. For example, world in my string will give us true. And Python, not in my string, will give us true.
So we can check the presence or absence of substrings using these operators.
Precisely. Now, let's talk about replacing substrings.
We can use the replace method to replace all occurrences of an old substring with a new substring.
That's right. For example, my string dot replace of world comma Python will give us hello Python. Now, let's explore splitting and joining strings.
The split method splits a string into a list of substrings based on a separator. Substring. And the join method joins a list of strings into a single string using a specified separator.
So, that's correct. For example, my string dot split of comma space will give us a list of strings, and comma space dot join of a list of strings will give us a single string. Now, let's move on to formatting strings.
We can use F strings, formatted string literals, and the format method to format strings.
Exactly. For example, print of under the quotes, my name is percentage S and I'm percentage D, years old percent, Sophia, comma 18. This will print, my name is Sophia, and I am 18 years old.
So we can use these methods to format strings in different ways.
Absolutely. Now, let's discuss string comparisons.
We can compare strings using equality operators like double equal to for equality and exclamation mark equal to for inequality. We can also use less than, greater than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to operators to compare strings lexicographically.
That's right. For example, string 1 is equal to hello, and string 2 is equal to hello. String 1, double equal to string 2, will give us false. String 1, exclamation mark equal to string will give us true. String 1, less than, string 2 will give us true. And string 1 greater than string 2 will give us false.
So we can compare strings using various operators.
Precisely. Now let's talk about string indexing and slicing.
Indexing helps us access individual characters in a string, while slicing allows us to extract portions of a string.
That's right. For example, my string at index 0 gives us H. My string at index 6 gives us my string from 0 to 5 gives us hello. My string from 7 onwards gives us world. And my string from the beginning to the end with a step of 2 gives us le world.
So, indexing and slicing are powerful tools for working with specific characters and portions of strings.
Absolutely. Now let's move on to advanced string techniques.
Okay, let's see what we have here. Regular expressions, regex, are powerful tools for pattern matching in strings.
That's right. We can use regular expressions to find specific patterns within strings. For example, we can import the re module. Then we can define text is equal to under the quotes. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Then we can use redoct search of our fox, comma text. This will search for the pattern fox in the text string. And if the pattern is found, it will return a match object. We can then use match dot start to get the starting index of the match.
So regex helps us find specific patterns within strings.
Yes. Now let's talk about string encoding and decoding.
We can use the encode method to convert a string to a byte sequence using a specified encoding, and the decode method to convert a byte sequence to a string using a specified encoding.
That's right. For example, if my string is equal to hello world, encoded string is equal to my string dot encode of UTF-8, this will encode the string into a byte sequence using the UTF-8 encoding. Then its decoded string is equal to encoded string dot decode of UTF-8. This will decode the byte sequence back into a string using the UTF-8 encoding.
So encoding and decoding allow us to convert strings to byte sequences and vice versa.
Absolutely. So now let's discuss string interpolation.
F strings allow us to embed variables and expressions directly into strings.
That's right. For example, print format under curly bracket name, and I am under the curly bracket age, years old. This will print the string my name is John and I am 30 years old.
So F strings provide a convenient way to interpolate variables and expressions into strings.
A B. Now let's talk about working with Unicode strings.
Unicode is a standard for representing characters from different languages and scripts.
That's right. For example, my string is equal to under the quotes nai hao, comma, shi, ge. This will print the string ni hao shi di, which includes Chinese characters.
So Unicode allows us to work with strings containing characters from different languages.
Absolutely. Now let's move on to comments.
Comments are essential for making our code readable and understandable. They explain what our code does and why it's written that way.
That's right. There are two types of comments. Single line comments start with a hash symbol. Multi-line comments are enclosed in triple quotes.
So comments help us document our code and make it easier to understand.
I think precisely. Now, let's talk about best practices for comments.
Keep comments concise and informative. Explain the purpose of code blocks and complex logic. And update comments when you change the code.
That's right. Comments should be clear, concise, and accurate. They should explain the logic behind the code and be updated whenever the code changes. Now, let's move on to the coding section. Welcome to the coding section. We'll be exploring beginner-friendly, graduate level, and advanced level Python code examples. Are you ready to dive in?
I'm ready to see these code examples.
Great. Let's start with the beginner level code.
Okay, Well, let's see what we have here. My string is equal to hello, comma, world, exclamation mark. And
so these methods allow us to change the case of strings. And now let's move on to the graduate level code.
first name is equal to John. Last name is equal to Doe. Full name is equal to my name is under the curly bracket, first name, under the curly bracket, last name. Then print of full.
Right, the code demonstrates how to use f-strings to format strings. Now, let's move on to the advanced level code.
Defining reverse string of text such that it takes in string. Then text from 0 to -1. And then print of reverse string of Python.
Excellent. This code demonstrates a function that reverses a string. So reverse string of text such that it takes in string and will return string. So this returns a reversed version of the text string. Then print of reverse string of Python will print NoTP. So this function effectively reverses the input string. And that's a wrap for our coding section. You can find the code for beginner, friendly, graduate level and advanced level Python code examples in the video description. Yeah, don't get intimidated by the advanced level code. If you watch the channel videos consistently, even you can write the same level code. If you encounter any issues, whether related to the specific code in this class or something else related to Python, feel free to reach out for help. I'll do my best to respond if time permits. Rob, the internet is a powerful resource for programmers. Websites like Stack Overflow offer a vast collection of solutions, often contributed by fellow Python enthusiasts who have faced similar problems and found verified answers. If Stack Overflow solutions weren't entirely relevant, you can explore the official documentation. Searching for the specific class module or object you're working with is recommended, as the documentation is often the best source of in-depth information and can provide valuable insights into how things function. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for receiving regular updates from the channel. Your likes and comments keep me motivated to create more content. Any final thoughts, Sophia?
This class was really informative. I learned a lot about strings in Python, from basic concepts like indexing and slicing to advanced techniques like regular expressions and Unicode. I feel more confident in working with strings now.
That's great to hear, Sophia. I'm glad you found the class helpful. Remember, practice makes perfect. The more you work with strings, the more comfortable you'll become with them. And don't hesitate to ask questions or share your thoughts in the comments section. See you in the next class.